This video is sponsored by Factor Foods. More on that later in the video.
Welcome to Big Sur, and say hello to our tin can on wheels, this beautiful 27-foot FB International Airstream.
Darling, you send me, I know.
So after spending 18 months living in a 22-foot-long Bambi Airstream, Colette and I decided we needed a little more space. And the main reason was we added 2 members to our family, Lucy and Scotland. When we decided to upgrade, there were a few things that were must-haves on the new Airstream. 1, we needed a spot for Scotland to sleep. That's a must. Number 2, we really wanted a bed where we didn't have to crawl over each other to get out at night. And number 3, we needed a bigger fridge and separate freezer.
Welcome to our 27-foot Airstream. Now I'm gonna give you the quick tour and then we're gonna get into the nitty gritty. So right here, we are starting off on our dining room slash Scotland's bedroom, second bedroom. We have the kitchen here, the bathroom here, and the bedroom behind me. So now let's get into the nitty gritty. We'll start at the beginning. Okay, so there is a dining area here that can sit comfortably 4 people for food. We have some storage up here, which is really great. This table folds down into another bed. Lucy, get down. Lucy,
I'm
a lot on the table.
I'm a show dog.
Oh my God. This table does fold down into...
If you are new here, welcome. We are Scott, Colette, Scotland, and Lucy, an adventurous family dedicated to empowering you to dream big, explore more, and discover life. After traveling to over 80 countries as a couple, we added 2 new members to our family and decided to hit the road. This is our journey up California's iconic Pacific Coast Highway in this beautiful 27-foot Airstream. We've got 18 special years to roam as a family, so join us as we navigate this beautiful world together.
Okay, so this is our dining area. Now it can comfortably sit 4 people to dine, but because we have the crib behind me, we have half of it being blocked off, so we don't really use that section. But a great thing about this is it can fold down into another bed, and we actually do that almost every day so that Scotland can have a flat play area. So this folds down to present more sleeping space. Okay, there is great storage space up here. We can slide open. On the right side, we store her diapers and wipes and some of Scotland's things in general. Then on the left side, we store computers, purses, things like that. We also have an awesome stereo system. It's Bluetooth operated. And the speakers are here, and then in the bedroom. Now, I would say the only downfall is that the speakers point down instead of out, so the sound's a little bit different, but overall, really good for an RV. One addition we made to the Airstream were these 3M hooks for our jackets, because the Airstream didn't really come with a good place for us to store our jackets, so I just bought these 3M hooks. I'll put the link below, and that way they just stuck on to the Airstream because we couldn't really drill into it. Makes it super easy. Okay, now this is a big deal. This is where our baby sleeps. In order to get an Airstream, we wanted to have enough space for our baby to have her full crib and slumber pod set up. Now, I'll explain what all of this is. We have the Guava Lotus travel crib. Now, this travel crib actually folds up into a backpack and can be a carry-on size for an airplane, so it folds up super small, but we choose to have it out all the time. Also, this slumber pod, what is it, guys? It's a Blackout tent that zips up like this. So Scotland can be in pitch black, but we can have all of the lights on in the Airstream. How cool is that? I wish they had it in my size. The slumber pod is not soundproof, so we have to be quiet, but we can keep the lights on. Another thing that we brought is our Hatch sound machine. Because the slumber pod is not soundproof and because babies love white noise, this is our white noise machine. Additionally, we also have a space heater.
So we have a space heater as well, and this is something that we definitely recommend having if you're in an RV. Why is that? Well, it tends to heat the Airstream more evenly, and also you don't have to burn your propane when using a space heater if you're plugged in at a campground. So we use this along with our thermostat to kind of help balance everything out. So this will run all the time, and then if it gets really cold, the propane heater would kick on to kind of boost up and augment the heat.
Okay, welcome to the kitchen. Now let's get started with one of my favorite parts, which is this massive sink, a huge upgrade from our 22-foot Airstream. Now, not only is it big and deep, but it also has this removable nozzle, spray nozzle. Ta-da! That sprayed you. Which is great for cleanup. Underneath the sink, we have the garbage can, which I don't think it's in the best spot, to be honest. Yes, it's away from the kitchen and it doesn't get in the way, but it actually ends up being like too far away. So usually we just keep the garbage can outside because it's easier access. But for right now, it's back where it's supposed to be. Okay, continuing on to the rest of the kitchen. I'm gonna point out one thing that I really love compared to the 22-foot Bambi. Now, the lighting in here. See all of this? There is such better lighting in the 27-foot International. Really keeps the place nice and bright. Moving on to the main cooking area of the kitchen. We have a 3-burner stove with a top that closes down on travel days, like so. Whoop. Open it back up, and below we have an oven. Oh my goodness, a cook's dream. We did not have an oven in the Bambi, and big fan of oven cooking. But that is not all, folks. We also have a microwave in here. Look at that. I feel like Vanna White, just reveal. So, fully functioning microwave. Ta-da. And inconspicuous. Ooh. Personally, I love having a microwave and a stove and an oven because it just gives me a wide variety of options to make food for the fam.
You know, we always prioritize our nutrition and wellness no matter where we are in the world, be it traveling in an Airstream, internationally abroad, or just at home.
Since starting our family, nutritious eating is more important to us than ever. On the flip side, since becoming parents, we have less time than ever.
We had to figure out a way to continue our healthy eating, but simplify the time spent doing it.
We found Factor, which is an awesome way to hit the easy button on nutritious meals, and we want to share it with you.
Factor is unlike any other meal delivery service. It's fresh, never frozen food that makes healthy eating simple.
Factor is delivered straight to your door. There's no prep time at all. You just put in the microwave or oven, heat it up, and dinner is served.
My favorite way to use Factor is in between our travels or right after we get home from traveling. Everything is delivered right to the door, and I don't have to go grocery shopping, and I don't have to meal prep. And when we start traveling again, I can just simply pause my Factor delivery. It's really that easy. Factor has seriously changed the way we eat. It has made nutritious eating so much easier.
So click the link below and use the code ROMARU50 to get up to 50% off your order from Factor. Trust us when we say the food is delicious and there is a huge wide variety of different meals to choose from.
Now, let's focus on some storage. Welcome. This is our pantry area. We have 2 pantries. Ta-da! I love these drawers. So I love that the drawer comes out because, especially for me, I am nice and short. It is convenient to reach down for items instead of reaching deep into a cabinet. So this makes it really easy. Now this next part is a huge upgrade from the Bambi. It's the refrigerator and the freezer. Size matters, folks. Look at how big these are. Okay, ta-da, this is our freezer. This is our refrigerator. Look at all that food. My dream. Now, a big thing for us is that we wanted to get a freezer that actually freezes, that's separate from the refrigerator. Because in our Bambi, everything was attached and I felt like the freezer never got fully frozen. So we are traveling with milk for the baby folks. It's just what it is. And we wanted to keep that nice and cold. And same with our ice cream, because we love ice cream. The refrigerator and the freezer both work off of 3-way power. That means that they function off of propane. And if you're plugged into the shore, they'll work off shore power, or they can work off of battery power. So however you're camping, you can maximize that to your liking. So for example, if you're camping and you don't want to drain your batteries, you can run off of propane. Now for one of my favorite parts, the closet. And I say favorite because it's double door. Unlike the Bambi, it was pretty small. We had to get creative, ladies. But this is massive. We have built-in shelves up top and we have plenty of space for hanging clothes. It's a good one. Which brings me to the shower. It's a great shower, separate from the bathroom. I will step in. I am 5'2", I'm a shorty, but Scott is 6 feet tall. He's gonna show you as well what it's like in here. Here he is, folks. You've got like an inch of room above you.
Yeah, I mean, it's adequate, I'll say that. One of the downfalls with this shower is that it goes right over the wheel. So they have this little seat, which for some people, maybe you'd like the seat, but then you kind of like start standing in this awkward stance in the shower. But overall, for an RV, it's really nice.
It's not the Four Seasons, but it'll do.
It's not the Four Seasons, but it will do. That's right.
The nice convenience of this shower is that it has a pop-up mini vent, and so does the actual toilet room. So if you need some extra air, you just pop it up. Venting. Ventilation, folks. Now it's time to bring you to the sexiest room in the house, which is right next to the bedroom. That's where the toilet is, folks. No secrets in here. So you got a toilet here, you've got a nice big mirror, sink, plenty of storage space both below and above. And you have one of those pop-up vents as well in here, just to keep things moving. You know what I mean? Now, in comparison to the Bambi, this bathroom is a total upgrade. The lighting in here is so good, and the mirror is huge. Whereas the mirror in the Bambi was about this big. It was a little one. And the lighting was, well, we had to use one of those little tap lights, which we put the link below.
So one of the other nice features about this model of Airstream is it has an electric and gas hot water heater, which is lovely if you're just plugged in to shore power, running off electric, but if you're camping, you can run the gas. And what we've kind of noticed though is that the electric doesn't seem to heat up as fast as the gas. So if we're doing back-to-back showers, we'll turn on the gas to just heat it up a little bit quicker.
Okay, and lastly, the bedroom. Welcome. This is our queen bed where we both have so much space as compared to the Bambi. I don't have to crawl over Scott to get out of bed. 2 thumbs up.
It's actually a queen too.
It's actually a queen, yes. Storage in here is fantastic. We have storage above, below the bed, and next to the bed. We each have our own night tables, which is so great, especially when we're on travel days. We can just shove everything into those night tables and move on. If we take a closer look to the night table, we each have our own plugins, which is so clutch when it comes to nighttime charging. And we each have our own night light. Look away from the light. For reading. Additionally, right around here, we have blackout shades. So clutch for sleeping. Blackout shades here too, guys. Ta-da! Okay, the one design flaw is that the USB ports are up behind the speakers. So we never use them because it's not really convenient. We end up just using a general outlet right here. Okay, I want to show you guys one of my favorite items to travel with no matter where I am. It's this Anchor power strip / USB strip, because Scott and I used to fight over cords and I don't want to do that anymore. So this kind of handles everything. So I can plug this in with more USB cords. I have additional USB cords. I mean, this is where everything goes, and it usually goes right next to my bed. Okay, I will put a link to this Anchor power strip below.
So I want to talk about my must-have power adapter. It is this Anchor, another Anchor product, charger. 2 USB-Cs, 1 USB-B, 2, forget the number. But it has 65 watts of power, which is enough to power your MacBook Pro. You can also charge your phones and any other USB device. So I like this mainly for the laptop charging because it's much smaller than the Apple bricks that they come with. So I just keep this in my travel bag, so I always have a charger for my laptop.
Okay, another massive upgrade from the Bambi are the lights in here and the overall just lighting. So you have skylights above, which bring in such great natural light. You have huge windows on the side. And then overall, Airstream just did a great job lighting this entire 27-foot International. Everything is very light and bright.
So let's talk about some of the hard facts about this Airstream. First up, the hitch weight. The hitch weight of this Airstream is 791 pounds, and this is the weight that goes on the tongue of the actual truck. So the max weight of this Airstream, totally full, is 7,600 pounds. That means if you're looking for a truck to tow this, you can do it with a half-ton truck, and you'll probably need to get the heavy-duty towing package if you want to have excess towing capacity on your truck. Now when it comes to tanks, it has a 39-gallon freshwater tank, a 37-gallon gray water tank, and a 38-gallon black water tank. Now what does that all mean? Well, it means it's got plenty of storage for us to live in this off the grid for storage purposes for about 45 days without really stressing too much about water usage. Now for propane, this has 2 30-pound propane tanks, which are the bigger propane tanks. Your typical grill propane tank is a 20-pound propane tank. Now, as for batteries, these are just the typical lead acid batteries, the stock ones that just come out of the factory. So upgrading batteries would definitely be on our list. And if you're looking to boondock or really have any convenience when this is not plugged in, you need to do lithium batteries. And we highly recommend Battleborn batteries. We've got a link below for those. And I've got a whole video explaining all the shortcomings of Airstream and the power demands if you're gonna buy it just stock. And I'll put a link for that right there. So when it comes to towing, we're towing this with a 2022 Toyota Tundra SR5. Now this is the V6 turbo option, which has a towing capacity around 11,000 pounds, which our trailer is 7,600 pounds if it's fully loaded. So that means we have plenty of excess capacity with this beast. Now, I love towing with this vehicle for a few reasons, and the main reason is the engine. So it is the V6 turbo option. Now, why does that matter so much? Okay, so most of the time of trucks, you're gonna have an option of a V6 turbo or a V8 of some sort. Or if you get bigger, then you get into the diesel engines and you have turbos. But the main difference is V8 versus turbo. And what's the difference? Well, if you're going up a hill, the truck has to provide more power to now maintain speed to keep the trailer going. So for a V8, the only option is to increase the RPM. So it has to downshift, increase the RPMs, make more noise. Whereas the turbo, it can basically just spin up and add more power to the engine without changing the RPMs. The driver, you really won't notice it unless you listen closely. You can kind of hear like a psh, and that's kind of the sound of the turbo working. So as a driver, the turbo is just a much nicer drive. It's much more consistent. Now, when you hit the steep hills, obviously it's got to add more power. It will downshift, but not as frequently as a V8. Now, I can't vouch for the longevity of, is a V8 last longer than a V6 turbo? I don't know that. But a lot of the trucks are now switching to this option of a V6 turbo option. I know the Toyota Tundra has it, the Ford has it, and there's probably some other ones out there. Maybe I'll put some lists right here of the other ones that do. But if you are searching for a truck to tow a vehicle, I really recommend getting a turbo option because it's just a nicer drive overall. So what's nice is this Airstream has the rear bumper option, which gives you a lot of space to store the hoses. It also has a bike rack. Now you might be wondering, but where are your bikes? Well, that is because we actually rented this Airstream from a great company called Roam and Board based in Carlsbad, California. Now, they also not only rented us the Airstream, but the truck. They have a turnkey solution, one-stop shop for you to get on the road and live the Airstream life. And it's perfect for people who don't want to buy an Airstream, or maybe you just want to test one out before you buy one. Check them out, Roam and Board. They had everything you can need. They get you everything situated. So you just show up with your clothes and you can then hit the road ready to go, which is perfect because you can do exactly what we're doing, which is drive up Highway 1 along the California coast. So this model has quite a few more upgrades than our Bambi had. Now, one, obviously the size. It's 27 foot versus our 22 foot Bambi. You get much more space. It's the same width, 8 feet. Our 2020 Bambi, they widened them to 8 feet, so it's just as wide as this 27 foot Airstream. It has the outdoor shower feature, which is right there, which is kind of nice to basically wash hands or dishes whenever you don't want to go inside. And it has awnings all the way around the Airstream, which is great for if you're boondocking and there's no coverage, you can still have the windows open and get a little shade protection. Our Bambi did not have that, and we were constantly putting up blinds because the sun would just be baking into the windows and making the Airstream way too hot. It also has the base 90-watt solar panel, which really doesn't give you any longevity when you're out and about. It basically just keeps the rig and the batteries alive if you're going to be storing it for any long period of time. If you really want to be off the grid, then you're going to need to have more solar panels or get a generator. And I've got a video explaining everything that you need, and I'll put the link right here. I'll talk about basically how we use Battleborn batteries. Highly recommend those. Those are some of the best on the market. And kind of the solar panel. One other outside feature that I really like is it actually has a door light. This was something that I hated about our Bambi. We had a light basically at foot level, which was very annoying because then when you're trying to put the keys in the door at night, you can't see. Here's a light that you can put on if you're gonna leave and then come back. Now you can actually see what you're doing when you're trying to put the keys in the door and just get into your Airstream. It's a lifesaver. That was a lot.
It's a big Airstream.
It's a big Airstream. Thank you so much for joining our tour of this 2018 27-foot International Airstream.
Whew,
That's a mouthful.
We hang out a lot. But let us know if you have any additional questions that we didn't hit on this very comprehensive tour. Ask us a question in the comments below and we will get back to you guys. My overall feeling is that size matters and this is a lot nicer.
Yeah.
You know, Airstreams are not for camping, they're for glamping, and this just levels up from the Bambi.
But the shortcoming, this model particularly, or I should say, this Airstream does not have enough batteries. I would definitely want to upgrade the batteries and put some solar so that we could take this thing off the grid. Right now, it's just like most Airstreams, it's stock. And the stock Airstreams are really made to be plugged in from campsite to campsite. They don't have enough batteries to last out in the wild. So yeah, the first thing I would do is add some Battleborn batteries,
Yes.
upgrade those, and put on some solar panels as well.
You have a link for Battleborn, right?
I got a link, yeah. Check that link out below.
Awesome.
Yeah, why not? Thanks for watching. I'm Scott,
And I'm Colette.
and this is Lucy.
And this is Lucy.
And we are Romero.
And if you like what you saw, please like and subscribe below.
It really helps us out. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.